How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back. Today we're gonna have a chill discussion about my current favorite deck of this format, which is Chimera. Just pure Chimera Illusion, and this deck is only gonna get better in Infinite Forbidden in about a month's time. It's gonna be a blast, but for now, what I wanted to do in this video is to dive deep a little bit about the combos you need to know when piloting this deck. And this deck is not about just fusion summoning, and this deck is not just about floodgates. It is about interaction and creating a ton of card advantage from very few cards. This is what the deck is really good at doing. So we're gonna have a fun discussion about that, show you some combo lines. If you want to see the deck list, there is also a video on that on my channel, but comment down below if you want to see a new video on a new list. We're going to be discussing, first of all, a very important combo that gets you to these two cards. Now, what is this doing here? Isn't this a Dino card? Well, it is generic. It's a generic rank 6. It's called the Volzar Lars. And while this card has a material, your opponent cannot target it with monster effects. And when your opponent activates a card effect or a card, you can quick effect detach two materials from this card and target that card and negate it, right? This is good in dinos because if it has dinos or reptiles as materials, you can only detach one, but it's fine. It's just a targeting negate. And we're combining that with one of the best cards for illusion at the moment, which is Diabell's The Original Sin. Forces your opponent to set any spell or trap before activating it, and when a card is set, can target a card in the field and destroy it. So, combination of these two, or just a 2-card combo creating 6 interruptions, is what we're going to be looking at here today. And we're going to be starting off with the combo. This is basically the combo that you need to know, and it's a 2-card combo. This is why you play a very small number of cards, and why you play 3 of each of these. And it's Nightmare Apprentice and Ejim Chain. Very well-known cards. Nightmare Apprentice, if you don't own one by now, it is probably a good time to do that before prices kind of spike up. But Nightmare Apprentice can send a card from the hand to special summon itself, and on summon searches an illusion. Ejim Chain, you know what it does, searches for Patchwork. So we're going to start off by summoning Apprentice by discarding Ejim Chain. And we're going to be activating Nightmare Apprentice, and then Chain 2, we're going to be activating Ejim Chain. We're going to be searching for Patchwork, and we're going to be searching for Mirror Swords Knight here with the effect of Apprentice. We're going to activate this right away to get 2 more cards, and we're already at +1. Started off with 2 cards, and now we are at 3. Now, the thing about Mirror Swords Knight is that usually you would summon something like Baphomet, but we don't want to get locked into fusion. So we're going to activate the effect, and we're only going to be summoning the Gazelle here. Now, Gazelle can add us either a Baphomet or a Chimera Fusion, but we really want Chimera Fusion in circulation, and we're going to be searching that. We'll get to that during a later part of the combo. Now, Chimera Fusion is added, but we're going to hold it. We have Poly, so we can already use a Fiend here and a Beast to go into our first fusion, Chimera the King of Phantom Beasts, which is already going to create the first interruption here because this will send a card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard during the end phase. But as Chain 2, we're going to be activating Gazelle here to search any illusion monster, right? So that illusion monster is going to be Diabell's. Now, how we're going to summon that, you're going to find out in just a second. We're going to activate Chimera Fusion, fuse an illusion and a beast, send them both to the graveyard, and going to a second fusion, which is going to be Baphomet, the King of Phantom Beasts. On summon, this will send an illusion, a beast, or a fiend to the graveyard from the deck. We're going to be sending Tau, the Master. Tau, when it hits the graveyard, can target an illusion, summon it from the graveyard, and locks you into illusions for the rest of the turn, just from the graveyard. So we're going to summon Diabell's, probably in attack position, is kind of wise here. And we are not locked into fusions. We can just Xyz summon here. 2 level 6s into Lars. Now, it might seem like not a ton of interruptions, right? So, first of all, before we rank up, we activate Chimera Fusion to come back to the hand. So we have these 3 cards in circulation, right? We have managed to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards out of the 2 cards we originally had. Now, this will be set, and your opponent will play. Now, how do the interruptions work here? So first of all, in the graveyard, we have a few things that can activate, right? We have Swords Knight and Chimera. Your opponent activate a card, you can pop it. Of course, you're protected from Droplet. This absolutely destroys Branded. Protected from Imperm or Evenly Matched, thanks to Diabells. If also are Lars, whenever you want to negate something, you can just use the materials and send them to the graveyard, right? Now, when you have this combination of cards here, you can already use Chimera in the graveyard, banish itself, and target Gazelle to summon it, right? Gazelle will summon and will add you from the deck the Berfomat that we needed, yeah? And now we can go ahead and activate Berfomat, banish it to summon this. Now you have a negate live, that's an additional interruption. This is in your graveyard, right? And now when you want to activate the Chimera Fusion, you can use Diabells, Gazelle, and Berfomat to summon a Guardian Chimera. Draw a card, pop 2 cards, search for an illusion from the deck, which is going to be Kotal probably for the next turn, and Berfomat can just summon back the Diabells. Okay? So this was the 2-card combo, basically. Right? Your opponent loses a card, starts off with 5 cards going second. You cannot get Impermed evenly, Droplet, no quick play spells because of Diabells. Kind of destroys Runic, Tenpai, stuff like that. Lars can add an additional negate. You pop 2, you have another monster negate with Mirror Swords Knight, because you will have this on the field. It's a ton of interruption. So this is the combo that I really want people to be familiar with, because this is, in my opinion, the maximum potential of Chimera. But there are other things that Chimera can do as well, and I also want to show you the combo of sending any Fiend, Beast, or Illusion from the deck to the graveyard and summoning them on your opponent's turn. Before we're going to do that, we're going to look at what options we have, because you already know we can summon Diabells, and this was similar to the combo, but in this variation, you can only summon illusions because you send Tau. What other cards can we utilize? And there is some hidden spice here that you're not aware of. So of course, we have Diabells that we can use to summon. We have Nightmare Magician, which is a very good card in my opinion. We have Protector of the Sanctuary, which is combined with the Serpent strategy. This lock was not really popular, but I have a video on this on my channel that you can definitely look at. This is of course a Fiend that we can summon from the graveyard. We have King Tiger Wangu, which is actually a very solid card, especially against Snake Eyes, right? If a monster with 1400 attack or less is special summoned or normal summoned, you can just destroy it, mandatory. Chainlink 1, right? This is actually being used quite a lot. Bizarre Shock is a tech kind of solid against Labyrinth, bounces all set cards. So during the end phase, if you go first, they set a few cards, just bounce their entire field during the end phase. We have Archfiend's Eris, which is a relatively new tech against things like Tenpai. If this is sent to the graveyard because of a card effect, you can add an Archfiend card. So you can add some more Archfiends that kind of obliterates both Snake Eye, you kind of not dead, and Tenpai, of course. And most importantly, Barrier Statue of the Abyss locks both players into darks. We have the End of Anubis here that can negate all spell, trap, monster effects that targets a card in the graveyard or activate in the graveyard. And then this is a bit of a spicy tech. We have Quacky Mayro Doom here. It is a Fiend. Yes, it is a Fiend. And on the field, what it says is that it negates the effects of all light and dark monsters that activate during the main phase. So it's not incredibly strong, but you put this up against Branded, it's not bad at all. It really depends on the meta. Right now, we're obviously Fire Dragons, Fire Pyros, but this negates all light and darks, so it's good. How do you get to any of these from the graveyard, right? You want to summon these from the graveyard? All you need to do is just use one card. and it's Mirror Swords Knight. In this combo, we're going to be locking ourselves into fusions, but this is one combo, one card, and you already have 4 other cards in hand. Mirror Swords Knight, normal. Use the effect to summon. We go into the Berfomet. Berfomet adds us Gazelle and Chimera Fusion. We activate the Chimera Fusion, fuse these 2 together, and we summon Chimera. Okay? So, chain 1, rip a card from your opponent's hand during the main phase. Chain 2, summon back Mirror Swords Knight. Chain 3, Gazelle. You can go into this. Gazelle can search kind of like whatever you want from the deck, right? You can search a Codal since you might not have it in this combo. You can search Apprentice to extend. You can search Tau to summon something. Basically, the world is your oyster here. You can summon the Abels. You can search for the Abels if you have a way to summon it, which is neat. Now, you go ahead, activate Chimera Fusion. You can, basically this is the 1 card still. So you have like an illusion, one of these in the hand, right? So you can go ahead and use these 2, for example. And then you go into the Berfomet, and Berfomet now will send you any of these that you want, right? I'm gonna go with the Doom. It's gonna go to the graveyard here. And basically, that's it. That's the 1 card combo. 2 cards on the field from 1 card, and of course, a full graveyard setup that you can use. You rip 1 from your opponent's hand, and then during your opponent's turn, you banish the Chimera, target the card that you wanted to summon, and you just summon it to the field. This is the 1 card, and you have 4 other cards in hand to do whatever you want. Usually these cards are game ending to some decks, but it's just really good utility to know how you can do that and leverage it with 1 card. Of course, if you have more cards, you don't necessarily have to get locked into fusions, for example, with Berfomet. Let me know what other combos, techs, or lines you have with Chimera. Of course, we have a lot of videos about Branded Chimera and Melodious Chimera. This is very simple, chill discussion about specifically pure illusion, and it's really fun. Leave your comments down below, like the video, subscribe if you're new. I will see you in the next one. Peace.